Hi, what I'd like to share with you is something I found to be very beneficial in developing an awareness of friendships and basically the amount of support and love individuals have in their life, all people, and start to think and reflect about possibly the family you're working with, the child or adult, and their relationships as we get into the idea of transition. I think this is particularly important. Um, so just for a short exercise, I'd like you to imagine even yourself, and what I'll do in the next slide is I'll go through this activity myself and give you an idea how this works. This was actually brought about by a teacher who was working on developing friendships for students at risk because of challenging behaviors. So, for circle 1, this moves outward, but in the very first circle, this would be the circle of intimacy. So, if you can imagine, this would be the people that you live with, that you see daily, most likely your family, and possibly friends. So, on my slide, I'll skip to the next slide. You'll see I just used smiley faces for mine, but I gave you that blank one to begin in case you wanted to do this for yourself, or with a small group of students, or with the case just for your own benefit to start looking at the case that you're working with and their relationships. But as you see here, I put just people I basically see every day. My mom, my dad, pretty much see them every week, and a family in my home, my children, husband. So right here is the circle of intimacy, otherwise known as the circle of love, loving relationships. And sadly, what we are finding is even still today, one of us is working with a family, not particularly a family, but an adult in a group home that doesn't have that basic first circle full. So also think back to chapter 1, in times when children with disabilities were sent to an institution, right there they didn't have that circle of intimacy full. So the goal of this is to fill these circles amply. Is that a word? Amply. To fill them for individuals with disabilities. Moving outward, the circle of friendship. And I brought this in during this unit because of the topic of transition and aging adults, and I'm so happy that some of you are working with adults for this project, because teenagers, early 20s, if you think about it, this is the age when your circle is full here. Your friendships, this is a very populated circle. Right now, this is basically my good standby friends. And if you think of circle 2, your circle of friendship is people that you would consider people you trust, people you tell your secrets to. You can share anything with them. They're your best friends. So think about that in your own life, but also for those with disabilities. And moving outward again to circle 3, this is the circle of participation. Now this is more, in our case, colleagues, co-workers. This is not so much the people you're very close with, but people whom you like, or teachers in your school, or maybe if you participate in clubs, that you just share things at a general level. If you are participating in a church, maybe in a sport. So these are people you see occasionally and you know, have relationships with, but not as close as the other two circles. And then the furthest circle out is something I really want you to think about. The circle of exchange. We have people in our lives that we like and appreciate, but these are the paid people in our lives. So if you think about it, if you go to a chiropractor, this would be your hairdresser, dentist, whoever you see that is paid to be in your life. So now reflect on your own circles and think briefly about what our circles look like for many of our children, young adults, and adults with disabilities. Where are their circles most populated with people? And how can we add to those most powerful circles? Right here in our section 2, Circle of Friendship. How can we as teachers develop safe and caring atmospheres where friendships can be built and friendships can be sustained all the way through transitional years when it's very difficult at times as children reach adolescence and teen years, when it's so important to be more alike than different. What can we do as educators to build those relationships for children who might find it difficult to do on their own? So thank you. The next slide is just if you wanted to do it on your own, just play around with these faces. I made it an attachment, so it's a PowerPoint if you wanted to do it that way, or the first slide you could use if you ever felt like printing it out, use stars or X's to kind of picture your own life, or use it however you wish. So thank you, and try to consider this when you are talking about building a community of learners. Thanks.